guys enjoy it. It's been a journey, so we're going to go ahead and get started so we can get to some cocoa and cookies. And that's
Sit. No, sit. Right here.
Once upon a Christmas Eve, old Scrooge sat busy in his counting house.
A Merry Christmas, Uncle.
Humbugs.
Christmas, I don't know because we don't mean that, I'm sure.
I do upon Merry Christmas if I had my will. Every idiot who goes about with Merry Christmas on his lips should be boiled with his own pudding.
That's bogus. In the middle of the play, it freaking breaks.
Sorry, we have all our lines up on that.
Technical issue.
Crap, that is bogus. It just turns off.
Okay.
sorry.
Nephew, keep Christmas in your own way. Now, let me keep it in mine.
Keep it, but you don't keep it.
Let me leave it alone, then much good it may do you much good it has ever done you.
I always said Christmas as a good time for the human terrible present time. And therefore, Uncle God never put every good to the fun. You guys done me good and don't do me good, and I say God bless you.
Good afternoon.
I'll keep Christmas here in the last, so Merry Christmas, Uncle.
Good afternoon.
And Happy New Year.
Good afternoon.
His nephew left the room without an angry word, but the clerk, in letting Scrooge out, had let another gentleman in.
As this festive season of year, Mr. Scrooge, we should make some slight provisions for the poor who suffer greatly at this present time. A few of us are raising funds to buy the poor some meat in means of one tea. And what shall I put it on you?
Nothing.
You wish to be anonymous.
I wish to be left alone since you asked me what I wish, sir. That is my answer. I don't make merry myself at Christmas, and I can't afford to make idle people merry. I help to support the prison and the workhouse. They cost enough, and those who are badly off must go there.
Many can't go there, and many would rather die.
If they would rather die, they had better do it.
The hour of shutting up the counting house had arrived. Mr. Scrooge took his melancholy dinner in his usual melancholy tavern, and then went home to bed. Now, it is a fact that there was nothing at all particular about the knocker on his house, except that it was very large. And yet Scrooge, having his key in the lock of the door, saw in the knocker not a knocker, but his old partner Marley's face. Marley's face, with a dismal light about it, looked like a bad lobster in a dark cellar. As Scrooge looked at it, it was a knocker again.
Oh, Bill!
Scrooge closed the door with a bang. The sound resounded throughout the house like thunder. Every room above and every cask in the cellars below appeared to have a separate peal of echoes all its own. Scrooge was not a man to be frightened by echoes. He fastened the door and walked through the hall and up the stairs. Scrooge went, not caring a button for it being very dark. Darkness is cheap, and Scrooge liked it. Quite satisfied, he closed his door and locked himself in. He put on his dressing gown and slippers, and his nightcap, and sat down before the very low fire to take his gruel. As he threw his head back in the chair, his glance happened upon a bell that hung in the room. It was with great astonishment and a strange dread that he saw this bell begin to swing. Soon it rang out loudly, as did every bell in the house. This was succeeded by a clanking noise. Deep down below, as if some person were dragging a heavy chain over the casks in the cellar. Then he heard the noise much louder on the floors below, then coming up the stairs, then coming straight toward his door. It came on through the heavy door, and a specter passed into the room before his eyes. And upon its coming, the dying flame leaped up, as though it cried, "I know him, Marley's ghost."
What do you want from me?
Much.
Who are you?
Ask me who I was.
Who were you then?
In life, I was your partner, Jacob Burbee.
The ghost sat opposite of the fireplace, as if he were quite used to it.
You don't believe me?
I don't.
Oh!
Mercy, dreadful spirit, why do you trouble me? Why do spirits walk the earth? And why do they come to me?
Is it required of every man that the spirit in him should walk among his fellow men and travel far and wide? If that spirit does not go forth in life, it is due to do so. After death, I cannot rest, I cannot stay, I cannot linger anywhere. My spirit never walked beyond our counting house. Mark me, my spirit never went beyond our money changing hole. And weary journeys lie before me.
Scrooge was very much dismayed to hear the spectre going on at this rate, and began to quake exceedingly.
I am here to warn you that you have a chance and hope of escaping my fate. You will be haunted by 3 spirits. Expect the first one tomorrow night, when the bell tolls 1. Expect the second one the next night at the same hour. The third upon the next night, when the last stroke of 12 has ended. Look to see me no more.
Scrooge tried to say humbug, but stopped at the first syllable. And being from the emotion he had undergone, or the fatigues of the day, or his glimpse of the invisible world, or the conversation with the ghost, or the lateness of the hour, he went straight to bed, without undressing, and fell asleep on the instant. Between that When Scrooge awoke, the church clock tolled a deep, dull, hollow, melancholy 1. Light flashed up in the room upon the instant, and the curtains of his bed were drawn aside by a strange figure, rather like a child.
Are you the spirit whose coming was foretold to me?
I am.
Who and what are you?
I am the ghost of Christmas past.
As the words were spoken, they passed through the wall and into the busy thoroughfares of the city. It was made plain enough by the dressing of the shops that here, too, it was Christmas time. The ghost stopped at a certain warehouse door and asked Scrooge if he knew it.
You know this place. You know this place.
No. No, I apprentice here.
They went in, and at the sight of an old gentleman sitting behind such a high desk that if he had been 2 inches taller, he might have knocked his head against the ceiling, Scrooge cried with excitement.
Why, it's old Fezziwig, bless his heart. It's Fezziwig alive again?
A living and moving picture of Scrooge's former self, a young man, came briskly in. Clear away. There was nothing he couldn't have cleared away. Or couldn't have, with old Fezziwig looking on. It was done in a minute. The warehouse was as snug and warm and dry and bright a ballroom as you would desire to see upon a winter's night. In came a fiddler with a music book. He went up to the lofty desk and made an orchestra of it, and tuned like 50 stomach aches. In came Mrs. Fezziwig, one vast smile. In they all came, one after another, some shyly, some boldly, some gracefully, some awkwardly, some pushing, some pulling. In they all came, anyhow and everyhow. And away they all went, 20 couples at once, hands half round and back again the other way. Dancing! They were dancing. Round and round. This way and that and up the middle again. Old top couples always turning up in the wrong place. Back and round the other way. But when the clock struck 11, this ball broke up. Mr. and Mrs. Fezziwig, shaking hands with every person as he or she went out, wished him or her a Merry Christmas.